We're streaming, Phil.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Phil.
And welcome to another delightful, delicious, fabulous, fantabulous episode of the Phil and Phil Show.
Even though he doesn't like being called Phil, we're still doing the Phil and Phil Show.
Well, I'm okay with it because it's you. And you're Phil, so I'm Phil.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, actually, Phil is very intimate for me, so I am very, very sensitive about the use of that. I don't want strangers calling me Phil. It's very weird.
I'm Phil.
So.
And I'm Phil.
And welcome to delightful.
Got it.
I think that's you on. You got it.
Got it. Yeah, that's what I was just trying to mute that, and I couldn't. So, sorry for the interruption, guys. The Phil and Phil Show. What are we on tonight, then, Phil?
What are we on?
Yeah.
Apart
from Zoom and YouTube.
Yeah.
We just tried to phone a friend and couldn't get anyone to come.
Yeah, we're working on getting some friends to join us for the show, but
you never know. I might get a call back in a minute.
Okay.
Never know your luck.
But I went out for a nice bike ride this morning. That was great. The weather's great here again, so I'm riding my bike in the mornings again. So
it's brilliant!
Not hard anymore. So
I went to stand in the park this morning, and then I went to a little mind, body, spirit psychic fair this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And I came home and had watermelon juice. I made a banging chai drink that I took to the stand in the park, and then I had these little sample cups that I use at events. And I gave everyone a little sample, and I made nearly 2 liters of it. And even with just sample cups, it was all gone.
So what was in it?
I use an authentic Indian chai spice made in England. It's created in Leicester in England. Mm-hmm. And then I used cashews and dates as like the milk and sweetener. And I put a little bit, I don't like using agave much, but I put a little bit of agave in, a little pinch of Himalayan crystal salt. And then I used, in England, we've got yogi tea. So I used a yogi classic, which is a cinnamon based tea. And then I used Red Bush vanilla. So I used 2 tea bags of each and stuck that in my airport pump flask. And then took it with me.
Yum.
Yeah. So someone said to me, "Wow, you're not going to be able to better that, Phil, are you?" And I said, "We'll see." So my challenge the next time I go is I've got to take something better than that.
Well, that's always, you're always you're really creative with the recipes.
So I'm going to say next,
you just do it.
I just do, yeah. Well, that's my life, mate. I can't do planning. I need someone else to do planning for me, and then see if I can execute it. So I thought the only way I thought about doing a hot chocolate. Then I thought, well, I can do that. But what about if I did a chocolate chai first?
Mm-hmm.
So do the same chai base and add cacao powder to it, and maybe a little bit of coconut butter or cacao butter to it.
Right.
That would give that a twist. Then the next time I could take a proper raw cacao.
Nice.
I think that's the plan.
Yeah, that's the plan.
But that is kind of a plan, isn't it?
Yeah. So it was a bunch of people at Stand in the Park. I'm trying to get one going here in Phoenix. There was one advertised, but there's no one there. So I reached out to the Stand in the Park people. By the time I get it going, I'll be on my way there. But
well, you'll leave a legacy, Phil.
Yeah, if I can get it set up. So.
And then when you come here, we're going to have to set up a new raw food movement.
We're going to get it going again.
We're going to do an equivalent of a Fresh Network.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to raise the roof.
Because those events that Karen Nola used to do, I've got to give Karen Nola lots of credit for that, because they were brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had Gabriel Cousins, Doug Graham, Philip Weeks, Jason Vale, Mike Nash, Rosalind Graham. I mean, they had some superb speakers, Phil.
I'm still here.
Yeah. Oh, I've got to put some. I've got to change the view into gallery. I was told.
Okay.
Cool, cracking.
Who told you?
Emily, when she was watching the other day, she said, Phil, you need to put it in gallery, otherwise you just get one of you at a time.
Yeah, that doesn't look very good. Tell Rose responding. We might have a guest in a minute. We'll see.
Oh, and I haven't recorded this, Phil, either. I'll record
That's
it.
All right.
I'll record it, though, just so we can have snippets if we want to.
Yeah.
So,
as you can see, we're great planners.
Maybe.
Both of us.
Recording in progress. Yeah, great planners. So, well, if Emily responds, we'll bring Emily on. And if your official friend's name?
Tara Rose.
If she comes on, if she responds, see who responds, see who wants to come on and play.
Yeah.
Because it'll be a very different conversation with either one of them, and it'll be very different if we had them both on.
Right. It'll be fun.
So, yeah, let's see who rocks up and who comes. And I want to get my sister on sometime to talk about her journey in the last 2 years, because her journey has been really quite amazing, Phil. Really inspiring for lots of people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and there's lots of normal folks like us as well that have had, great experiences, great awakenings, lots going on.
Well, I don't know if you saw my meme today. My meme today that I posted, I don't know if I posted last night or today. I said, in this time of spiritual war, tyranny and deceit forge the warriors that will be their downfall.
Mate, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
and that reminds me of Stand in the Park, right? Because last week it was it was so wet. Some of the worst rain I've ever seen last week. So one of the women said, "Oh, come to my house. We'll have it on my house." So we all turned up at her house. And the theme of the day really was, do you know what? If it wasn't for COVID, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have these new amazing friends.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happened with Stand in the Park now is, especially in England, wherever you go to, so if you have a day out or if you move, you've instantly got a group of friends. So she's going to move to North Wales. And she said, Phil, I've got friends already. I went to a Stand in the Park the other day. It was amazing. So I've got friends. And it's like, wow, she said, so, what this has done is for people like us, it's actually given us a base of friends, probably all over the world.
Right.
Which is amazing, right?
Yep.
You can go wherever you want, find a Stand in the Park, people that are not on the same wavelength, but they're certainly on a similar wavelength to
well, yeah, exactly. Well, what we're seeing is just people just resonating and coming together, like as these, it's just this shift, like it's pulling us together to connect heart to heart and
it's kind
to
of
connect.
The amazing thing is, Phil, they're, on a level, the situation is forcing us to come together.
Yeah. And they're pushing more of what's the theme right now is the metaverse, right? It's forcing more and more of this more digital life. And everybody's like, oh, I spent too much time on media. Like, so what are they going to do when they go into that? They're probably going to feel sick. They're going to be like, oh, I need people. So the more they force that, the more we're going to be like, oh, I need to flip that. I need more nature. I need more connection. I need more real. And it's actually going to flip on them. It's just going to be brilliant. They're going to be like, we're going to reject it massively.
But this is kind of where I was talking to a guy last Sunday. I think I touched on it, but it's coming up. Since I've done Bottle G8, Phil, you remember I was doing G8, which is all about clearing separation. It's about coming into unity. It's about clearing the light and the dark. It's about going to the deepest parts of your soul. And since I've been on that journey now, the thing that I'm really seeing now is the separation. Not that there is separation, but the whole idea of separation. I'm seeing. I'm really understanding duality.
Right.
So that bottle's about duality. It's about clearing duality out. And one of the things I'm really experiencing now is seeing the illusion of duality, and how we as a species and people, humans, man and woman, boy and girl, we're actually buying into the illusion of separation. We're buying into the illusion of them and us. We're buying into the illusion of good and evil, right and wrong, black and dark. We're awake, they're asleep.
It's a really good point. You just made me think like these leaders that were out there. It's like, oh, they're doing this to us, and it's like, wow, they're just, I mean, possibly on one level, but they're also, they're just human beings, and they're maybe just lost souls, or they're there for our involvement, or they're whatever. It's like, what do we know? What do we know what they're going through and what their thoughts are and what's driving them? Or it's like they're just lost souls too. They just need love.
Maybe they're not lost souls.
Maybe they know what they're doing. I mean, but some of them, I think they're just lost souls. But go ahead.
I don't think they are, because what happens if on a very deep level, the bad people, the evil ones, are actually doing all they can to wake us up?
Well, I get that, and I agree on that. So maybe it's not soul level, but there's something on the physical plane where they don't even know. I think they are asleep. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, the old expression, if you're pointing at them, there's three fingers pointing back at you.
Right.
So if we're accusing anyone of being asleep, then we're recognizing the asleepness in ourselves.
That's good. Yep. Okay.
So, imagine if we take full responsibility, no bullshit, it's our creation, all of it's our creation, right? Then we are creating the need to wake up.
Right.
So on a soul level, maybe we feel this need to evolve. And I mean, for me, it's getting so loud now.
Right.
Recognizing my stuckness, recognizing the feeling of being trapped, recognizing that feeling of not being enough, recognizing that darkness, and seeing the suffering in other people. I was with a friend of mine the other day, and he was really, I think the word people would use was belligerent. He was getting a kick out of making me feel as uncomfortable as he possibly could,
right,
in front of a young lady. And he was getting off on it. I mean, he was loving it. He was doing us a favor.
Right.
But it's interesting. So he said, Phil, I'm just trying to make you, and he was blatant about it. He said, Phil, I'm just trying to make you feel as uncomfortable as I can.
What was his intent though? Like, that was it? Like, for what reason?
That was it.
Did he even know why he was doing it though? That was my question. Like, that was bringing back. But because that was like what I was saying. There's an unconsciousness there they don't necessarily know. So like, I had this amazing bully in my life when I was, starting out at Health Force, and he really, really bullied me. And it's like, he was one of my greatest gifts, but I don't know if he was conscious enough to know that he was my greatest gift. So, you know what I'm saying on that level?
Yeah, but you were conscious enough to recognize that. So he was showing he was showing you an aspect of yourself that's totally unconscious.
Right. Mm-hmm. And he showed me my victim side, and he showed me my weaknesses. It was good.
Exactly. So when I was going through what this guy was showing me yesterday, and I was like, oh, he's doing this and he's doing that and he's doing the other, and then my friend said, but what's he really showing you? And I went, suffering. So we can point the finger, but the thing that resonated with me was he was showing me his suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, what he was doing was showing me how much I'm suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And he was expressing this suffering in a way to make me feel shit.
Right.
I didn't, because luckily now it's like, okay, I get your game. I know what you're trying to do. I'm going to do all I can now to see the game, see the pattern, see my weaknesses, see my flaws, see my uncomfortableness,
Mm-hmm.
and realize that it's like, oh, actually, he's just trying to make me feel as uncomfortable as he possibly can to he feels better.
Right.
So when I feel worse, he gets to feel better, right?
Mm-hmm.
However,
of course, he's just an aspect of you, which
he's
is the internet.
the aspect of me that's showing me my suffering.
Right.
Because what I realized was what he was playing out was his suffering. So by trying to pull one over on me and get me to feel uncomfortable, what he actually did was he actually showed me his vulnerability and how much he was suffering.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, it's like, oh, so it's not necessarily about the direct reflection of his behavior,
Mm-hmm.
but what did I see through the behavior? And what I saw through the behavior was suffering. And it's just like, wow, what a gift to get to see how much I'm actually suffering and what I do in order to not experience the suffering.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, totally. We've talked about this a lot on the show, how instead of feeling, like, we dumb it down through food, through all of these distractions that we're just talking about. And so, some people will go into the metaverse and try and distract. But the more we go through this and evolve, like, we can't dumb it down. It gets harder and harder. Like, we try, because like it doesn't, our soul doesn't let us. It's like, I'm still here. It's like, look at it, and it gets louder. Oh, that's a really good point. So the more we push it down, the louder it gets. Wow, I'm just thinking about that, and it like might manifest as disease. Like, oh, okay, well, you just pushed those emotions down. You pushed that. I was trying to show you something. Okay, well, here, I'm going to hit you on the head. I'm going to drive into your rear end on your car, like Susan, and
you get kick up the arse. You get shunt up the arse.
And now she's been going through an amazing evolution. We push that down, like, push it down, and then, like, boom, it just like comes back louder.
And before you know where you are,
yeah,
the whole planet's stuff is so suppressed. We have to have a pandemic to fucking wake us up.
Yeah, exactly. It's the most perfect thing. We were so asleep, and like I said in my quote at the beginning, we're waking up right now. We're waking up big time. We're gonna have suffering, major suffering, as we go through this.
Yeah, because we've got to look at all that, like you were saying, all that suppressed trauma, uncomfortableness, the unforgiveness. That doesn't sound quite right, but all of that stuff that we of a species, as an evolutionary pulse that we've been feeling, and we've all been like, fuck, don't let it out.
Yeah. Well, I'm hearing more, like, everywhere I go, it's like I'm hearing people talking about trauma, like and you've been talking about it for a long time, but it's becoming a thing right now. People are like, oh, this is traumatic. This is, people are going, oh, I gotta heal my traumas, and I've got to work through this. So it's pretty potent stuff.
And it's, Jesus, and in the Bible, it says it really clearly. It says, the sins of the fathers will be visited on the children.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't clear our stuff, the next generation has to deal with it. And we are now the time in evolution that has to deal with this darkness, with this trauma, with the unprocessed, with the unforgiven.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're in such a mess. I don't know how many thousands of years this has been going on for now. And this is the time on a big, clearly, right? It's worldwide. It's not just me sitting here with you. This is a worldwide thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a real opportunity. people are pointing their finger at saying, oh, well, they need to wake up and they need to wake up. And, oh, I'm so awake. And it's for me, right? This is a massive opportunity for me to wake up. It's a massive opportunity. And I, you know, I don't know how to grab it and ride it any more than I am, but
Right.
I'm still missing. There's still a little bit that I'm not seeing, you know, in my personal evolution, my personal trauma release, my personal spiritual growth. So all this stuff about they're not doing the work, they're not waking up, you know, they're fast asleep. If it wasn't in us, it wouldn't be in our reality. If we weren't seeing it, once you see it, once it's in your reality creation reflection, you know it's about you. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. You know, and through this whole journey that we've been on for the last 18 months, without mentioning names of what we're going through, I've really dug deep and worked hard, but I haven't seen all the drama around. I haven't had that experience of all the drama and, oh, isn't it terrible? And this is, I haven't seen that. My opportunity is, of course, I've seen them and us and stupid people and awake people and asleep people, and I've seen all of that as well. I've seen all of that,
right?
And that was the gift it gave me, was seeing how much judgment I've had, seeing how much spiritual arrogance I've had, seeing how asleep I still am, you know, recognizing that in the people outside of me, going, oh, they're asleep, oh, they're stupid, oh, let them queue up. That's judgment and separation.
Right.
And that's my challenge, is to catch myself in that judgment and separation and them and us and good and evil, right and wrong, all that duality nonsense. Because if I don't catch myself in that, how am I ever going to evolve out of this time of duality? Do you want to spray, Phil?
Yeah, there's a lot of energy there. We need some spray.
What would you like?
That's some deep stuff.
All right.
Yeah, we need the grounding, astral, whatever that thing is.
Okay, I want to do Oriole first.
Okay, that's pretty cool too.
Because this is in the colored mirror system, it's classed as copper. I don't know if it looks very coppery to you.
It looks kind of a little red, rosy.
Yeah, so this is actually like copper. So, but this is an evolved copper, which means it's dealing with higher level grounding stuff rather than really deep in the ground, you know. So let's have a bit of this. This will kind of get us out and in all at the same time. Oh, these sprays tonight. Oh, they are so strong. And then let's do your favorite, which is Earthstar Rainbow Dragon.
Yes.
So remember, I'm going to breathe it in, blow it out to you. You're going to take it in through your heart chakra, down through your body, out through your feet, down into the ground to your soul star, into your earth star, which is about 2 feet beneath the ground. And then you wrap it around there and kind of anchor yourself to that. Okay. Oh, see if I can cope with this one. Okay, breathing in for you guys. Take it in through your heart. Let it swirl around there a little while and just massage your heart very, very gently. Feel that love, feel that stimulation, feel that heart opening and closing, opening and closing. Then send the energy down through your body, down past your other chakras, down, 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 out through your root chakra down past your knees, your ankles, your feet, into the ground. Take it down to the ground to about 2 feet, half a meter-ish. And find your Earth Star. Wrap that around that Earth Star tightly so you can just feel the energy pulling you tight to the earth. Leave that there. And when you're done, come back up to your heart, into your body, open your eyes, and you're back with us fully present.
Nice.
That's cracking, Phil. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
There's so many bottles I haven't got, Phil.
You want more?
Well, I've only got a few out of the whole set, but there's sets of them now, Phil.
Right.
Oh, that was so nice. It's one of those moments in shows, Phil, isn't it?
It's like there's nothing to say.
Just that feeling of bliss, right? Just that peacefulness. I still just find it so amazing how I can do a spray and breathe it in here and you can experience it there.
I feel so light, and my feet are on the ground. Just feel so grounded and connected. And it's this subtle energy. It's just like, whew.
That was a good combo though, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
So the combination, just to go back through it again, and I don't remember this. These are archangel. This is an archangel range, and this is the only one I've got. I don't know anything about it apart from it's about, it's earth, it's grounding, but it's grounding at a really kind of deep. Doesn't feel the right word because the proper copper is deep because it's all about earth, but this is like an etheric grounding. It really, that was amazing.
Right.
And then the other one I did was this Earthstar. Can you see that?
Can't really see it. You're gonna have to say
Earthstar Rainbow, Earthstar Rainbow Dragon, and you can see that's kind of a goldy color.
Oh, I like that color.
And that actually together, that's Phil, that would make the colored mirrors bottles. That's a colored mirrors bottle, right?
Right.
Imagine if I had one of those bottles done like that with those two colors.
Oh, it's like two colors in the same bottle?
Yeah.
Do they stay separate?
Yeah, because the top one is oil based, and the bottom one's water based.
Oh, so there's two colors in that one, huh? Oh, two.
Yeah.
What's that blue one?
This blue one, G31. Without getting my book out, I don't know what it's about, Phil.
That's all right.
Well, I can get my book out, and I've got a new book, so I can get my book out and tell you if you want me to.
Go ahead.
Emily, if she come on the show, she'd be like, "Yeah, that's that one." She'd tell me all about that one. Okay.
We did some EMDR with Susan the other day. She's doing EMDR therapy. You know about EMDR?
Yeah. Wow. I know of it. I don't know about it.
It's like, what is it? Eye desensitization, eye movement desensitization stimulus or something. But basically, we're just getting into it right now. So, I've done some videos on it, but it's well recognized, really powerful. It's kind of, you know, like it's got some tapping involved in it where you do like cross call tapping like this to calm yourself down. But then there's some eye movement stuff where you like, you know, watch somebody's finger, or maybe you watch a pint on a screen, and it basically, you help to clear the energy of the trauma. So if you have a trauma, you go into it, you feel it, and then you do the eye movement, and it desensitizes it. It like takes the edge off and helps you move through it. And we just did this little exercise. Go ahead.
I'm going to say they use it in post-traumatic stress disorder, don't they?
Right. And that's what Susan's working through since the car accident. But yeah, I mean, you can use it for any traumas in life. You can just like, it's just a simple like eye movement. It's really cool. These subtle little things. But she did this really cool little exercise where she implanted an aroma with a positive emotion that Susan could go to when she was like having stress. So basically it was like, you know, go into your heart, experience a positive feeling or a positive emotion, just kind of re-experience that, and then smell this smell. And then she did like the eye movement, and it like anchored that smell with the positive emotion. So anytime like Susan's having a hard time, you grab the smell and it kind of reinvigorates that anchor. And we all know about smells, like we'll smell like this random smell come up, whether it's even there or not. Sometimes it brings up a memory. It's really interesting that when that happens, right? But there's not an actual smell, but you smell it and then you remember a memory. And then there's the times where you smell and it is a smell and then you remember a memory. But the times when there isn't even a smell, when you smell something, you're like, oh, what was that? You know, so, but go ahead.
So imagine, Phil, with that said, imagine the anchors that we've got related to color.
Wow. And all of the anchors that are connected to all sorts of experiences, negative and positive.
There's always color involved, though, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
There's always color involved. That's what's interesting. You know, I'm just thinking about color because behind you now, there's 2 or 3 different colors of green in the trees behind you.
Yeah. It's a big pine tree, a carob tree. The carob tree is kind of more light green. Yeah, it's a few different colors, 3 different colors of green. Mm-hmm.
So bottle G31, Phil, we're back on this. So this is actually indigo.
Okay.
So it's silver over indigo. Well, that's not silver. This bottle's been kept in the dark.
Okay.
That's now like royal blue.
Right.
But that was indigo. I'll show you the color it was.
Silvery over the screen, the top.
See that bottle there, Phil?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the color it was.
It's changed a little bit, huh?
Yeah. So it's evolved. These bottles, have a. So Phil, you're going to love this one because it's really interesting. You want to know about this bottle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's silver over indigo. I'm not going to read all of it because there's pages of it, but I'll read the intro of it. Bottle G31 is the Galactic Gateway, silver over indigo. This bottle is as deep as the night sky and as light as the brightest stars, and it reminds you that you have these qualities within you. It asks you to accept both your light and your shadow self. That's just what I've been talking about. So that you can return to balance and release the stories that have kept you stuck. This bottle helps bring subconscious patterns into the light of consciousness, which is exactly what's happening right now in the world, so that they may be transformed, which is what you were talking about. It reconnects you with your soul's truth and assists you in creating an inner sanctuary of peace. So I go on a bit further.
Yeah.
This bottle is also a gateway to higher dimensions and the wider mysteries of the universe. Let yourself travel through the gateway to the galaxies and realize that you are so much more than you believed yourself to be. This bottle encourages you to let go of fear and open to the vastness of the cosmos. Draw the radiant light of stars into your being and let it activate deep change within you. Your existence matters. It is time now for you to own who you are and your ability to bring about shift and transformation for yourself and the planet.
Mm.
And that, that there's another, that bit that I was reading to you is part of half an A4. Then there's another whole sheet of A4 about that as well.
But just reminded, I was watching something, I listened to something about imprinting, and it's talking about, it was given an example of like how they can imprint the signature of wine into water and people think they're drinking wine, or it's like, and just thinking about our bodies, we are this plasma, high vibration water thing. So whatever we're taking in is imprinting into our body, mind, spirit. And like these colors are one subtle way of doing the aromas, experiences. What are we imprinting into this body, or what has been imprinted into this body? And moving through that and letting go and re-imprinting ourselves. We know that energy of like water takes on the messages, and so do we. So
absolutely, we do.
Learning to re-imprint our body with good experiences.
So when you're using these bottles, right, Phil, there's water at the top. No, water at the bottom. Water at the bottom, oil on the top.
Right.
And then you've got the colours. And then you've got the colours. And then within that, you've got the essential oils as well.
Right.
So there's lots of smell going on. There's all the colour going on. What you were just talking about is there. But it's, even with these tools, what we've got to remember is it's a soul's journey. We're not, well, I say we're not. Some people, I was talking with a colleague about it, and some people have one bottle completely transforms their life, and they leave their job, they move house, they have the best job they ever wanted, they start their own business, they get married, they have a child. And then other people have to have bottles and bottles and bottles and bottles, because I guess one's like personal transformation, which I hadn't seen this before. So one's about personal transformation, one's about soul evolution. And I guess it depends what your purpose is, right? Whether you're here just to evolve as a person or to evolve as a soul. And I think that's two very different journeys.
Go more into that. I'm not sure what you're saying. So why, I'm thinking like one person might have more layers of things to evolve through. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
So some of us are clearly sent here, choose to come, turn up, whatever, born, and we've got a lot of stuff to clear. So, it becomes really, really subtle, deep work. And other people, like I've just said, will come and have one session, one bottle, and go, oh my God, my life's changed.
Right.
That's exactly what I was looking for. And
moving energy there, Phil.
Moving energy. That's exactly what that is, Phil. So it's I think one's a personal journey and one's a soul journey. Maybe. I'm not convinced about that either, but there's different levels, clearly.
It's like the person who jumps on raw food and transforms in a week, and then the other person takes a lifetime of detoxing. So,
well, yeah, that's me, right? Yeah, raw food for a lifetime, and the personal journey for a lifetime. That's me. And other people can do. A friend of mine do a juice fast for a week, heal his illness that he had or condition that he had, turned into this amazing chef. Job done.
Right.
Books, video series, phenomenal. Tells the whole world how amazing it is. And then the people are like, what it's like for you, Phil? Well, it's a bit of a journey. And that's my journey, right? bit like with what Susan's going through with her car accident.
Right. And it's not to say that same person won't have another experience. Like that's just their journey right now. Like, right. So what do we know?
Yeah.
And we've had, this has been a blessed, amazing journey that, we've gone through with all of this stuff. It's like opened up so many avenues and doors, and it's beautiful, beautiful experience.
Amazing experience, Phil. Yeah. And for me, right, the people that I've met and become, like you, Gabriel, Philip Weeks, the people that I've met and become, really good friends with from this journey that I would never have met before.
Right.
It's just Samado Sibley. There's amazing people doing amazing work that I would never have met.
Right.
So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, and we've, I think it's part of this. It's landed us in these positions where we're like, oh, we're thriving during this whole time of craziness. I mean, I've right now where I'm at, here in Phoenix, and we have an amazing group of like-minded people who are eating healthy and connecting and evolving together and trying to figure it out. Oh, there's a dog. Hi, Molly. And there's little Molly that like.
Hey, Molly, she's our #1 fan.
Yeah. Did you go walk already? Take your little leash off there. There you go.
Oh, she's been already?
Susan took her for a walk.
Oh, there nice.
What's going on?
Hey, Molly.
Who's that?
Just having a little dog
Molly's
break.
on the show.
She was crying to get out so she could nap.
Aw. Susan said she was crying to come outside to be on the show. So.
Oh wait, well she's been on most shows, hasn't she? To be fair.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. You want to lie down, Molly? There you go. Well, it's a very light show this week. We're evolving.
We did have quite a bit of full on in the beginning, though, Phil.
Yeah, we did.
And then we sprayed, and then
we left our bodies or something.
I think we come in.
Yeah,
because it's peaceful.
Then it's hard to. Are you still there? Oh, you totally froze. I was like, he's not moving. He froze.
That takes a bit. That takes a bit of doing, I tell you.
It does. You're like really good. The Zoom freeze. Yeah, it's hard to like say anything after you take us through the color therapy. It's like, okay, what?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Okay, pick another color. Let's see if we can shift the energy.
Well, let's do that. The blue one, or yeah. The what? Sorry, indigo, silver. What is it? No, that one. Yeah, that one.
What, this one here?
Yeah.
I can't spray this. Oh,
you can't.
Okay.
Oh.
No, but okay. I'll do something else. Let's see if this works. Just
okay.
Close your eyes. See if I can tune into this bottle. How was that?
We're never going to get a show done with stuff like that.
I know. I just felt
Like,
I just felt myself drop even further into peacefulness.
it was expanded. It was just expanded. Wow.
I just got, for me, I just dropped into that peacefulness further.
Mm-hmm.
And then the really bizarre thing is there's nothing to say.
Mm-hmm.
We could just sit and meditate on the show, I suppose. Could just freeze.
You're really good at it. I start laughing.
Oh, I have to really focus on keeping my eyes dead still and open, right?
Mm-hmm.
Practice.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder what I've got that's gonna. Oh no, I haven't got enough fire to get a fire. I'm running out. It's really oh, okay. Let's do ruby red. Let's do our ruby red for family connection.
Okay, that's good. What are you laughing at?
Energy clearing.
Oh, somebody just sneezed back here.
Energy clearing, right?
It wasn't me.
No.
Maybe it's feeling it. It just what that did, it was connecting me, to all my family that's all over the world, like my close family. But then it's like it's like bringing me into that question of like, so there's a lot of people who have become divided through all of this. So it's interesting, like healing that division, right? Because there's a lot more division happening as people have these opposing things. But I think it's evolving through that. It's like, so, sometimes like where, you have an argument with a partner or something like that, and you could be like, oh, this is so bad. But then there's also a moment where you can kind of evolve through it if you can both be conscious enough to work through it. And then you're like, oh, okay, like there was a clearing. There's a polarity had to happen in that. So just trying to figure that out, with where there's division that's happening, So I mean, I'm sure we've all got some of that in our lives where there's somebody who's family who have maybe during all of this time we've lost some sort of connection with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, well, in fact, everybody that I know has an element of that,
right?
To a greater or lesser extent. But I think every single person I know has had some surprise, shall we say, with these events.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for some people, they're the only one out of their whole family and their whole friend circle.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They're the only one.
Right.
That must be tough. So we were talking about, just before I said that then, was actually you were talking about duality, the separation, right? That's duality.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, we're going really deep into experiencing duality. And lots of us are going, actually, I don't want this anymore.
Right.
I'm not doing duality anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily have to agree with that person's choice. I don't necessarily agree with lots of people's choices and lots of people's views that they have.
Right.
However, it doesn't mean I don't like them or love them.
Right.
I just don't agree with them.
Right.
And
yeah, I mean, we like your example of your friend earlier, or I don't know if it was your friend who was kind of poking all your buttons. You could have been like, all right, this guy sucks, I'm never talking to him again. But instead you're like, all right, what do I need to evolve through in this moment? And I'm sure that brought him closer to you.
well, it's also about it's always about the value of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Is there enough value in this relationship for me to grow through it, or is it just painful?
Right.
And actually, he offers me great value in ways,
Mm-hmm.
as I offer him value in. I mean, we've got such different views, man. I mean, it's just opposing.
Well, let's just explore that. If it's too painful, so yeah, maybe like there's levels to that, right? Yeah, there is painful where you just like got to get away if somebody's punching you or whatever.
Oh, but even
then,
emotionally pressing your buttons.
Yeah. It was interesting when I was younger, and I don't know what my experience was. There was this guy, and for some reason, if an old childhood acquaintance guy, and I've told you this story before, I think he had somebody else come and beat me up, and he was punching me and I was letting him. I don't know why. I didn't really understand. I was like, I didn't want to fight this guy, and he was like punching me in the nose and whatever. It was really weird. Really, it was traumatizing and scary. But then afterwards, like, this thing happened, and I saw him like a few days later, and he's like, oh, you're a really good guy. Like because I didn't fight him. I was like, I don't know what. There was probably some wisdom in that kid, because I didn't know. Maybe I was just scared. I don't know. But I didn't fight him back. Like, why am I don't need to punch this guy. I'm not. He was just randomly punching me. But it was like, and then afterwards he's like, oh, you're a really good guy. It's like, it's just a weird thing. I don't know. So
And it's kind of, it's, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's sorry. No way.
What?
Sorry, it's good. I'm gonna. So we've just been talking about G31,
right?
Emily's been in the bath of G31.
No way.
So she's coming on the show.
All right.
Oh yeah, she's watching. Emily, get on the show. Come in to Zoom. I've sent you the link. Get on the show, because this is that's cosmic. I didn't twig actually when Emily was talking about bottle G31 to me yesterday. I didn't. She's like, oh, I've done it so many times, la 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 la. And who knew that it was actually G31 that I put on my shelf when I was doing. I had two bottles of the G8 left, and I put it on my shelf with that G31.
Right.
I have no reason why I've done that.
Right.
So yeah, Emily, if you're watching, come on the show. Talk to us about G31. Tell us about your experience with it. It would be amazing.
Wow, those, you didn't even get to eat them, huh?
No.
Oh man, they're good.
I'm on the show. Come on, George. Say hi to the show.
Oh, she's literally. Hey, how you doing, Susan? You're looking so much better.
Thank you. I feel a lot better.
My
brain. I am craving fats now like crazy since I got off my fast. I think my brain is working with fats now instead of carbs and sugar.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It's like, okay. I mean,
yeah. Earlier on in
avocados, I want olives, I want, yeah. But I like it. It's like, that's what I was aiming for, is to get my brain to run more efficiently on fat,
Wow.
So, and 3 times I made a cup of coffee. 3 times I took a couple sips and left it sit. So I'm not wanting coffee now either. Fasting
is epic, and it is so underrated to heal
Yeah.
everything: trauma, cravings, weight
Yeah.
loss, weight gain, fat, sweet, whatever. It's just the bomb, as
Yeah.
they say in the States. It's just
Right.
epic.
The simple is the powerful, right?
Yeah. So did you do water and enzymes?
What I did was water, ocean water.
So the
So I
sea,
did
the sea plasma slash
plasma.
quintone, she was doing that in
Quintone.
water.
as water with my water.
Which makes sense. Like that's probably connected to enzymes because you need minerals for enzymes to function. So if she was taking those sea minerals, it probably helped make the enzymes function better. And it was interesting. We ran out of the sea minerals, right? And then like you were struggling.
I tried to do
struggling
salt
with fats.
water, and my eyes got all black. Like I got black circles.
You tried to do what?
Salt water
So-
instead of the sea water because I ran out of sea, and it made my gave
There's
me
something
dark
magical
circles under
about
my
that.
eyes. That's new advice for people going on fast. Make sure you get ocean water. Make sure you get sea plasma because it really helps.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I would suggest as well, Susan, the more of it you do, you'll probably evolve through that.
Yeah.
Because we really need to learn to support ourselves at different state. You know, like for me, I never liked water fasting. I never got on with it. So I've done a lot of juice fasting, and I've done dry fast. And dry fasting for me actually is the easiest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Even though I've only got to 5.5 days. I say only. I mean, that's quite epic. But
it's pretty good. I tried dry fasting and it didn't work for me very well. But the book that I read at least got me to the point where I don't want to just drink plain water when I'm fasting. I do want the plasma because I don't want the water to be pulling stuff out. I want it to be putting stuff in.
Interesting.
Well, one of the things with distilled water, they reckon, is I think Gabriel was saying this, it sucks the inorganic minerals out of the joints.
Yeah.
It doesn't, people say it takes minerals out, but I think that from what I can gather is it's sucking inorganic minerals out. It's not sucking organic minerals out. Yeah, it's taking the unabsorbed, undigested, what the body just has no idea what to deal with. It sucks those minerals out of the body.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But, every time you do it, you get a little farther, you go a little deeper, and you don't lose it. I think that's part of the illusion. Because, like, once I get off the fast, I get 5 pounds back on automatically. And you think, oh, well, I'm going back to where you were, but you're not. That's the thing. You are not going back to where you were. I was looking at my face, and then I was like, wow. I mean, I looked at a picture. Philip showed me a picture of us with our friend who died, and I was like, wow, my face has totally changed from this fast. I don't look like that anymore.
No, I mean, you look great. It's made that fast has made such a difference to you.
Yeah,
because you're vibrant.
Yeah, I can feel the energy in the flow. Yeah, and there was, like I said, I just have weird things. I think I lost a blood clot here. I had a big
scar that came up on her arm. It's gone now.
A big bruise right here, and I think it was a blood clot that left.
Something.
Now it's healed. Yeah. So things are coming out, and I'm saying yes.
Is your tongue still pretty clear? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, way better.
Yeah,
way better.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think the colonics were key too. When I was doing what 2 colonics a week. Yeah. So the colonics were really important.
Yeah. So once we get there in the spring, it's time to do a spring fast.
Yeah. You got to get me in my hot tub or my sauna.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out.
We'll figure something out.
I need a hot tub, I need a sauna, and another thing I need is a wine refrigerator so I can do really complicated cheese making.
Like cashew cheese, almond
So if you have a wine refrigerator, you can
the temperature.
Control the temperature of the ferment in it, and
we can sort all that out.
Yeah.
We'll find one from somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll work. And Philip, I mean, we do really good soups.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make pickles. We want to probably start doing some stuff at the
Fermented
farmers
food.
markets.
Yeah.
And somebody was talking to us recently too. I can't remember who, but she or he was saying that when we do farming, we need to do farming with medicinals. We're going to need more medicines for people.
Yeah.
So we need to get a lot of medicinals
Herbal
in our
stuff.
farm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great contribution, Susan.
This poor thing's been waiting for me to walk her. I'm going to walk her now.
Oh, you took the harness off because you thought she'd been out.
I thought she'd been out already.
No, she's been waiting. I was working crossword puzzles, and then I decided to eat some potatoes. She said, "That's it. I'm going to join the show. You're not taking me anywhere." So good to talk to you again, Phil.
Yeah, great, Susan.
Really happy you guys are continuing with your motivation on this work.
I know. I didn't want to do it tonight. I can tell you. I was like,
yeah. It's good work. It's
good
work.
Yeah, this is
all you.
You're moving energy. You're doing all kinds of good work. You didn't even know what you're doing.
Exactly.
No, you're right. We've got no clue.
That's exactly the point. We don't know what we're doing,
but it's good.
But it's good.
I think she meant it with sincerity, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
So
Emily? Is she coming on the show or what?
Soon.
Oh, well.
Soon. She said, before Susan came on, she said 15 minutes. So it's got to be about now.
What happened? Am I still on?
Yeah. Your face isn't, your voice is. So, it's that's the thing with this talking out loud. Of course you do. Evolving out loud, is the conversation goes where the conversation goes, because we're being triggered by the conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though actually tonight we've been all over the place, but we stick to evolving, and I think the theme has been duality, right? It's been about them and us, and separation and evolution, and seeing the dance, and looking at opportunities and tools, in color. Since this year, I've definitely been doing more color. So actually, since I did the dry fast,
mm-hmm.
I've definitely done more color again. I've done a lot more colored baths. We've done more spraying.
What I really like about that is it's going into the subtle vibrations of everything. So we're in this kind of this construct, and we're looking out there, and we're looking for the next big thing, like the big bang or the big evolution. And it's like, actually, it's all really, really subtle. It's the smells, the aromas, the colors, the subtle interactions, the homeopathy. They're all really, really, really subtle, what makes a powerful difference. And it's not this like, oh, we get this big fat crack or this big thing that's going to change everything. It's actually the subtle things that make massive difference.
It's true. I had a someone was asking me about the colored mirrors and the price of the bottles, and I told them, and it's like, what, you mean it's going to take me a long time and cost me a fortune? And I said, yeah. I said, it's, you're soul healing. You're not just combing, you're not brushing your hair. This is soul healing. It takes time. And the thing that I'm sharing, because I'm sharing that, Phil, is because what you're saying, it's so subtle.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been taught, 1 pill a day for a week and everything's better.
Right.
And it's not like that. Because we're evolving, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like this, the subtleness of the subtleness of just going for a walk slowly in nature, like that, the forest bathing concept. It's like everything slows right down, and we're just coming down into the body and feeling the body, no distractions, just right there. And it's like those subtle smells, the feeling of the wind, the sun, the coolness, whatever it is, all
sound of the birds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A fish jumping in the water.
Yeah. And I think both you and I would go through that. We're like, what's the next thing that we can do? Like the next massage or the next therapy, or it's like, well, maybe like we don't need any of that. Like we just need this subtle tuning in and slowing down.
Yeah,
Things.
I'm such a culprit of that, Phil. When it comes to really to stopping, chilling out, and being with nature. I don't do anywhere.
We're all disconnected from that in so many ways, and there's so many other draws, and we know it's where we need to be. But it's like the distraction, the social media, the this, the that. You gotta do that. Gotta go to work, and it's like to slow down, look at the stars, look at the sky. Yeah, and it's all infinity is right there always. Infinity is right beside us, within us, around us. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There we go again.
Well, it's really interesting when we hit a little truth bomb, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the moments that we go into that really soft, peaceful yumminess. It's after one of us has dropped a little truth bomb.
And it's interesting for me, like as that comes up, I feel uncomfortable, right? Which makes sense because it's like, that's powerful stuff. So I feel uncomfortable because it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's getting me, it's out of the comfort zone. Like as we tap more into that truth.
For me,
I've explain those in words, but know what I'm saying.
I think you're absolutely right, Phil, because that does happen with you when me and you kind of align and we drop in and we start to feel. I can see you starting to shake your foot because you start to rock,
right?
So I know something's going on.
Yeah,
and that's that uncomfortableness of actually being connected, because we really start to connect. Our hearts really start to open, and that's like, this is what I've been yearning for. The first time I remember yearning it and I didn't realize was when I used to walk home from the pub or the bar. In the States you call it the bar, in England we call it the pub. I used to walk home from the little village pub, and every night I used to look up at the stars and go, is that it? Is that all there is?
right.
No connection, no heart. I used to walk up the road drunk, feeling really empty, because I'd gone to the pub to connect. I'd gone to the pub to look for soulmates, to look for friends. When I say soulmates, I don't mean sexually, I mean soulmates. So you can hang out and feel each other and have that and connect. And there's only two people in my life that I rarely saw or rarely went out with that I ever had that connection with. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know that I was connecting. I just knew that I liked their company. One was my cousin and one was a friend of mine from down the road. And I just knew that whenever we went out, we'd have a good night. Whenever we hung out, we'd have a good time. And now, of course, I know it's because there was some kind of alignment going on for us, and we would kind of be happy. And I'd feel connected, and I would feel, the word that's come to mind is I would feel replete. Replete. If you were eating food, you'd say full up. So it's
satiated.
Yeah, like feeling satiated. Yeah, replete. Keep talking, Phil. I'm going to Google that. Well, I'm not. I'm going to DuckDuckGo it.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Bad use of words there. I think that's how you spell. Oh no, you don't spell it like that. you spell it like that. Okay.
Replete.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The Cambridge Dictionary. Well, that probably won't be. Oh, okay. There's one here that says abundantly supplied, abounding, filled to satiation, gorged, complete. I don't like any of those particularly. Let's see. Oh.
Yeah, it's like, I think we can, I mean, I know I can tap into those subtle moments where everything was just perfect. It was like remembering drinking spring water from a mountain spring, or just dipping in cold water, or going on a bike ride or a hike, like those ecstatic moments. And it wasn't this high or something. It was like these beautiful moments. It was like walking through the woods with my niece and nephew. It was just like, it's like imprinted deeply in my soul, that memory, those subtle things. And it wasn't like bungee jumping off a cliff or something. Not that I've never done that, but so I don't know, but it like there's that, and maybe that's amazing too, but there's the subtle things of just walking in the woods with my niece and nephew, or even walking on my own in the woods.
Yeah, and so satiation is fully or abundantly provided or filled,
right?
Well supplied.
There it is. I think it's when it's in that moment you realize, you remember that all your needs are already met, and you don't need to seek outside for the next thing, or the next high, or the next therapy, or the next drug, or whatever it is. You just go, oh, it's all here right now in this moment. So it's like, yeah, it's a remembering, and you come into the moment. I think that's why it's like, maybe that's why I'm uncomfortable with it, because maybe I'm not in the moment. Like, I'm worried about the future, or I'm worried about what we're going to say next. And it's like, so it gets me into a little discomfort, because it's bringing me more fully into the moment. And then, so that's a little uncomfortable.
It brings you, you become present.
Yeah. And it's like,
actually,
this is it. Yeah.
And actually, what you're doing, Phil, as well, is you start to feel.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually like fully feeling. So for me, I yearn that, right? That's why I do the show with you, is to get, because I know we're going to get glimpses of that connection, that fullness, that repleteness, that joy, that bliss. For me, it's bliss. I can sit there with you in silence, and it's like, oh.
So I'm self-judging, thinking, oh, there's people watching, I should be saying something, I'm supposed to be, so you go into it, and I'm like, I feel it, but then I like avoid it. So I'm like, oh, like I'm supposed to be saying something amazing right now. Like, yeah.
Phil, I have that program running too.
Yeah.
But I guess the difference is, that's the difference. the bliss is way more important than the nonsense in my mind, right?
Right.
That's the only difference. I still have the story. I haven't mastered no story. It's just the story hasn't got master over me.
Right. Because the story is always going to be there. I mean, we can't. It's just the way the mind works. It is going to be there.
I don't think that's true.
Okay.
In my experience, my mind chatter's evolved.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got less, and it's got more peaceful.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it used to be brutal.
Yeah.
It used to be brutal. And now it's got to the point where I can sit with you in silence on a talk show. It's still there, but it's not doing my head in. It's just like, oh, I can observe the thoughts, and they don't take control. I'm not on about all the time. I'm on about in that moment in time when we do that, because for me, that's the whole point of connecting with you, is those little moments we get.
See, I think what is for me, like, if I go into it completely, I ain't gonna say nothing. It's gonna be like I'm afraid of that. This is I'm gonna be sitting here and you're gonna be looking at Philip going, ah.
But you know what? Maybe that's our challenge. The next time we hit that spot, maybe our challenge, both of us, is to accept the mind chatter and realize that is the whole goal of what we're doing.
I mean, that's where I want to go. It's like I want to just go right into it. So it's my mind chatter, but then there's also it's like
Well, there's also a reality that we're on a talk show, right? And we're educating and entertaining people. So there's that going on. There's that pressure of performance. We have to perform. But actually, if you take that into a more evolved place, actually, people observing people in the moment, maybe that's more powerful than all the words we say, Phil. Maybe.
Right.
I don't know, but maybe. Because that...
Well, it reminds me of like the best comedians or the best stand-up people or the best public speakers are the ones who can master the silence. So they may be talking, but they're also okay when it's like they're not scared of like the moment of silence. They are able to allow it with full heartness. Whereas that other person who's terrified, I'm really talking so fast, to get it all out and get through it. Whereas the other person, like they're totally present, and that might mean the perfect silence for the joke or the perfect silence for the audience to receive what they're presenting. Like they're okay with going into that blissful state, and in that they then take that whole audience with them into that peaceful state. But if they're nervous about it, then the audience are going to feel that too, I suppose. So
exactly right. Now, Tim's just said something that's cracking. Thanks, Tim. It is so true. Sometimes silence is the most comforting and necessary choice. Just because you are with someone does not mean you have to talk. Thank you, Tim. And so that's the challenge of the show, Phil. When we hit that blissful state, is to be in bliss. And for us not to kind of try and make it all better. Because at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is make it better for the people.
Right.
Because you're actually in heaven, right? You're this is what I've been looking for all of my life. This is heaven, this is bliss. Oh, people are watching. But you know what? Meditation is you just sit together and breathe. Yeah, you've got it again.
Is Emily coming on the show?
2 secs.
2 seconds?
No, right now.
Right now.
Right now. So I just want to finish off with Tim a sec. Tim. Once you are connected on that level, words are just I love him. I love him. When you are connected on that level, once you're connected on that level, words are just social pressure. When connected on the level you two are, the silence allows the tribe to be present with you. When you notice someone stops talking, you become present. Tim, love you, bro. Thank you so much for your feedback.
Thanks,
That's
Tim.
really amazing for us. Right, let's get Emily on. You unmute, Emily, and come on down.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing? We've got a photograph of you. Is that right at the moment?
Hang on. I just need to preview myself before I unleash the camera. Hang on. How can I do that? Yeah, fire away. Sorry, I was at the dinner table.
That's what. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
What, did you guys start early today?
Oh yeah, sorry. Because we go back.
Hi,
just
Phil.
got back-
Sorry, by the way. Hi. Sorry.
Yeah, hi Emily. Welcome
Hi.
to the show.
Not
Um,
you. I mean the other Phil. Hi, Phil.
No, yeah. Hi.
Hello.
He was completely blissed out there. He's been practicing being blissed and ignoring everyone watching. That's what he's just been doing.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm ready to go into like the zone and just sit here right now. Like, whatever. Okay.
Hang on,
Yes.
give me a
So
second.
because we've gone back an hour, Emily, Phil's asked if we can start at 6 because it's 11 for him.
Oh, I see. I
But we
forgot.
can,
Yeah.
whatever you. Well, I thought that'd be better for you, Phil.
Yeah. Well, it isn't. It isn't. It isn't.
It's up to you. I'm happy to do it either. So
Yeah. No. Let's do 6 o'clock for a while and see what happens.
okay. Yeah, no, I was thinking I was more thinking it was good for you, so it wasn't as late.
Yeah. Well, I finished.
Sometimes at the
8.
end of the show, you're ready for bed, and it's like I thought maybe 6 would be better. So
Yeah, it's brilliant. Let's try it.
Emily, you're perfect. Get on the show.
Oh, hang on 1 second.
Phil, Emily thinks I'm direct, right? And you're like the soft, gentle one. But I love that. It's because you dropped into your bliss, isn't it?
Yeah,
Dropped into your honesty.
yeah.
Right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hi.
There you are.
Hey!
Oh dear.
So, did you gather why we asked you on the show?
Well, I literally got out the bath at like 7 and I saw your message. So I was like, oh, it's the show. So I put you on YouTube and then you were talking about, well, I don't know what you were talking about, but then obviously my messages came through and you're like, oh, what the hell's going on? You've just been in G31. So that's all I know.
Our show ended up being about
Yeah.
G31.
Right. Okay.
And
That's
you were
weird.
And you were bathing in G31.
Did you know I was bathing in G31?
No.
Oh, right.
Well,
So that's what I said.
on the physical
So that's what I
plane,
said.
Of course, you knew on the subtle plane.
On the
And-
coloured
and
mirrors.
you- and Emily knew that Phil was going to be exactly.
So when you came off and texted me and said, "Oh, I'll be on in a minute. I've just done G31." It's like literally, I put the bottle down on the side like that, and you said, "I've just got out of doing bottle G31," and I was like, "Okay, we've got to have Emily on the show so we can talk about G31."
So why are you bathing in G31? What's that all that about?
So the reason I'm bathing in G31 is because my last clearing session I had, which was last week, my remedy bottle for what I was clearing on was G31. So I intuitively picked G31. That's why I bathed in G31. I was going to do it with harmonic, but I didn't in the end. I got a strong message to do it on its own. That is a teal, yeah. I got a really strong message to do it on its own so that you get the like acute frequency of it.
Well, you get a direct message, don't you? If you do, for me, it's like lots of things, right? If you eat apples, you get the direct apple message. If you eat orange, you get the direct orange message. And if you do G31,
yeah,
you get the hit of G31, and it's like a clear message. Whereas when you do 2, 3, 4 bottles, which you can,
yeah,
and you're not getting that clear message.
No, I used to do a lot of triple baths as well, and you do get a different experience. I might do a 5 soon. I'm not sure.
What, 5 bottles in one bath?
Yeah.
Look, Phil's completely blissed out now. You've come on the show. He can just chill. He's just
Hang on, I'm just looking up.
Oh, Tim says, "Good evening, Emily."
Hi, Tim.
He sent us loves, and yeah. So I'll tell you what happened. We had a really intense beginning of the show. We got into duality and talking about G8 and different things, and then I sprayed Uriel. What's Uriel about?
Well, it's copper, so it's about being here on the earth, but it's about transcending like the judgment of earth. It's a different type of copper to
so that's what Phil's doing now because whenever he's dropped into the bliss, he's felt uncomfortable because he's supposed to say something.
Oh,
so
okay.
practicing dropping into the bliss and forgetting everybody else.
So
We were talking about
Oh, no,
Judgment
that's better.
2 earlier in the show before you picked that.
That's true. We were talking about judgment, duality, blame, shame, and then so I picked that one, Emily.
yeah,
And we did Uriel,
yeah.
and then straight afterwards we did Earthstar Rainbow Dragon,
Oh, lots of copper then.
and we were so blissed out that the show nearly ended. We just went, this is, it's like we were on drugs for a little bit.
Nice.
And then I don't know, I can't remember, we'd have to watch the show back. I can't remember why we then got on. But that, believe it or not, Emily, is G31.
Amazing.
It's like an evolved bottle, isn't it?
Do you think it's evolved? Why?
Yours is dark, but yours is indigo.
Mine was quite indigo, yeah, and the silver was clearer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, you need to bath in that then.
Yeah, that's what that's my
Why
next.
do you say that?
Because if it's changed color, it's a shift in Phil's energy, so he needs to bath in it. It's a strong message. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's gone. It's like royal blue, Emily.
Well, it is royal blue anyway. It's indigo, but it's not as dark
Look,
as my
it's
one.
almost that color.
Yeah.
It is. It's that color. It's evolved into the Phil and Phil sign. So I got oh yeah, this is the book that I was reading in, guys. It's the Wisdom of Coloured Mirrors by Melissa Jolie that invented the coloured mirrors. I say invented, you got the download, whatever word you want to call it.
Yeah.
Oh, Phil, right. Tim's busy tonight. It's great having him on the show. It's so lovely to watch Phil M be totally blissed out, taking moments to be with himself and then coming back into the show. Being that comfortable is beautiful. I love him. He's great. So I don't know why we got onto G31, but anyway, we got onto G31, and then I did a little moment with Phil where I held it on my heart and breathed it and focused it and sent Phil the energy of the galactic transformation, and he got it. It's like I've never tried to send a bottle 5,000 miles before, but he got it.
And you said, when I was listening to the bit that I was listening to, you were like, oh, it's so cosmic that I was bathing in G31 and you were talking about, but that is G31. It's cosmic. It is a cosmic bottle. G30 and G31 are the cosmic. They're so cosmic.
They're galactic, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm just looking at the meaning. So for me in that bath, I'm not sure if the insights have fully come through yet, but I did half of it in the dark, which is really unusual for me.
Was that a choice thing, or was that just an intuitive thing?
I got out in the middle of the bath and turned the light off.
Oh, wow.
And I had a candle on as well, which is really unusual for me, but interesting.
I love doing baths in the dark.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do baths. Dark with maybe a candle and essential oils, like as dark as possible. That's how I want it.
Very different experience. Yeah.
Well, Phil, for that, I think we found the perfect answer for Susan is to get her an old cast iron bath, an English cast iron bath.
Yeah.
And then you build a brick surround around it, and you build a stone surround and a stone chimney at the end of it. Like a fire under the bath. So you can, and then you put like a little wooden raft in the bottom of the bath so you don't burn your bum. And then you can heat the water up in the bath. You can in the chimney you can have little windows for candles, and then you can sit in the bath under the stars and cook, man.
Wow.
Cheap,
incredible,
cheerful, beautiful. That's the way you do it.
Outdoor bath.
Outdoor bath.
Yeah.
Forget all this fancy nonsense comfort.
Yeah. And think of that, like, so it's dark, but then there's that, you're just feeling the full expanse of everything. Like, beautiful.
Now that's a galactic gateway, right?
which is all about, that's what we're trying to experience. We're trying to experience the full expanse of everything, all that is, because that's who we are. We're all that is, was, and will be.
Yeah.
I can feel that little just coming back in again, guys. You might have no show left in a minute.
We're all feeling that right now. It's like, oh, okay.
Did you read the meaning of G31?
I read the first 2 paragraphs in the book. I didn't read it all because it's. Have you seen the Coloured Mirrors book, Emily?
Yeah.
It's like a full page. It's like a full 8. It's where it's over. It's a page and a half for G31. So I read the first couple of paragraphs, but it's about. It's that the main thing is it's a galactic gateway, isn't it? And of course, indigo is about activating the third eye, and then the silver just cuts through the shit. So it's like you've got a sword and it cuts through all that nonsense, Phil. It cuts through all of that discomfort. It cuts through all of that judgment, cuts through it all so you can go and see through it all. I think that's my bath for tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah. It cuts through subconscious as well. That's what came up for me quite strongly. So I was tapping quite a lot in the bath, EFT, and a lot of like I can't say it. Juxtaposed like energies were coming up. So it's like
I've never even heard of that word.
Juxtaposition. It just means 2 things are completely opposing each other.
Okay.
So I had a belief in one thing, but I want another thing. So how can I actually have that thing when I'm holding that belief that's blocking it?
So conflict.
Massive conflict. Massive.
So you had like a conscious belief, which was I want this thing.
Yeah.
And then you've got what in the training I did was we call a transparent hidden belief.
Well, it was all conscious.
Oh, was it? It was all conscious.
All conscious. And I'm like, well, this is bullshit because I'm just blocking myself. And because it will, if I hold on to the negative belief, I will validate myself as a victim, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Tim,
I did perfect. That wow, that's the theme of the whole show, is juxtaposed. Really, we were going through conflict and judgment of others and judgment of self, and wow, just all those levels right there. Just wow.
That's what came up for me strongly.
So Tim's joining in well at the moment. He's put, surely a dark bath is taking you back to before your birth, and getting out back into the light is almost rebirthing.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting for me in relation to that is I'm going through my birth scene at the moment in Cranio, and I haven't quite finished that. So that's very interesting. And also the beginning bit of the meaning to this bottle says, this bottle is as deep as the night sky and as light as the brightest stars. So it's, about dark and light, but in a...
So it's about duality. It's about duality in a different way, isn't it?
Well, they all are, don't you think?
Isn't everything?
Yes, I think. Well, yeah, because we're doing duality, right?
Yeah.
Our conscious evolutionary path right now is to come through duality. That's why it's so exciting, and that's why there's so much conflict, and that's why there's so much. I was reading a post today on one of the groups I'm on, and it's just like, oh, but they tell us this and they tell us that, and it's so confused. Of course, it's confusing. It's supposed to be confusing because they want you confused so they can control you. And that's duality. But once we can see that the game is confusion, and then once we can see that the game is duality, we can then step into love.
Then that's that moment we remember who we are.
And like on the show, Phil, where we've had those moments where we've remembered who we are. That's the moment, is remembering who you are.
Continual journey.
Emily, you can't come on the show and do that on your own. Come on, you got to share that with us.
Platinum Angel.
Which one is
Platinum
it?
Angel.
Platinum Angel. Can you tell us a bit about Platinum Angel?
You need to blow it out. You need to blow it at the audience.
I think that's
Share it.
Phil's thing.
That's Phil's thing? Okay.
Platinum Angel is about releasing resistance.
Okay.
Clear separation. And yeah, clear separation, which is coming out of inner conflict, essentially, coming into unity. But yeah, releasing resistance to knowing the truth of who you are. It's also a very galactic energy, Platinum. Yeah. Very galactic. And it's quite like new age. Yeah, that's Platinum.
I like that little glimpse you gave us of that then.
You can have it.
Thank you.
I don't know. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's nice.
I love, yeah, it's really cool. Also, it releases control as well.
We need loads of that.
Control.
Yeah, I know.
We need bottles full of. Do you think Platinum in general would release control, or is it more specifically that spray?
No, it's more turquoise, to be fair. But G19, which is double platinum, is a really good one for releasing resistance. And I get it mixed up with G18, which is turquoise and platinum. That's, yeah.
Very good. I like this. Amazing. They don't stick in my mind.
I don't know how they do. I don't know how they do, but
like food stuff sticks in my mind, right? Colored mirrors, astrology, flowers, just doesn't stick. Health.
but you go off the colors, don't you?
I go off the colors.
The colors do. You go to the colors. You don't go to the meanings of the bottles.
Yes.
So it does stick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, Phil, you don't. That's not how you work.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You don't need.
That's never going to be you. And even with the food stuff, you don't go, oh, I got to create this recipe. You just do it. Does that make sense? Yeah, you're more subtle than that, Phil.
Thank you, Phil. I'll uncomfortably take that.
Yeah, you actually don't need the meaning because you just resonate with it. That's,
yeah. You feel it more as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, G31.
Did you want any more input from me?
Galactic Gateway. So it's a galactic gateway. It's about healing resistance. I'm going to hold it up while we're talking about it. So even though this is kind of a cosmic bottle, it's actually a galactic bottle, which is, to me, is like right out there.
Letting go of the story as well.
And that's where, when we drop into those moments, whether it's me and Phil or the three of us have had those moments now, is we've let go of the story. The story's dissolved because when you get into that connected state, unity state, 5D, 4D, whatever you want to call it, it's the story's gone. Have you noticed this time, Phil, when you dropped in, that you got less nonsense story?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was saying. As you evolve, which you've done really quickly now on this show, through that is it tries, and you're just like, I'm in bliss, man. You've got zero hold over me now. Do you see what I mean? Yeah, and that's a real example of experiencing it, feeling it, identifying it, understanding it, and letting it go. All in half an hour, 20 minutes. Because we learn, and we learn in that moment that doesn't serve us, and actually we don't need to do that. We recognize our discomfort, whether it's someone trying to make you feel uncomfortable or whether the situation creates discomfort.
You're talking about feeling uncomfortable.
We just put ourselves through this shit, don't we?
I was actually talking about yesterday when my friend was doing his best to make me feel uncomfortable, and and experiencing the discomfort and being okay with that. And that's what we've been through on the show. We're dropping into this, this little cosmic gateway we drop into, and realizing that actually it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to feel the bliss. It's okay to feel unity and connected. It's okay that we're supposed to be doing a show and we're not talking.
Also, that uncomfortable thing, it was there before. So he's showing you that it's there. And in that process, you're releasing it. So that's all he's bringing to that's all that person was bringing to the forefront of your conscious awareness. Because why we haven't come here to experience discomfort. Well, we've come here to explore discomfort and feeling uncomfortable. There's nothing.
Clearly some of us have.
Yeah.
Right, or we wouldn't be feeling this uncomfortableness, whether it's through trauma or
well, you imagine how uncomfortable most people are feeling at the moment, not even being aware of what's actually going on, and not realizing that, I don't know, loads of light is coming onto the planet and they've got all these emotions and they don't know what to do with it. Imagine how uncomfortable that must feel. I think we've got it a bit easier than that. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I think now we've got it a lot more easy than that. I think it's a lot easier for people like us actually now, because we have we think we have an understanding. We have an understanding, whether it's true or false or right or wrong, who knows, and it doesn't really matter. It's what's helping us through.
But also we see what we've always envisioned coming into fruition as well. Like the way they all live in Avatar, right? That concept, that's never been so tangible before.
That's
certainly
true.
Not for me.
That's true.
So it's like, that's another reason why it's easier to put, because we can see that there is light at the end of the tunnel, even though there is no tunnel.
There's no light because there's no darkness.
Yeah, exactly. So
once you come out of duality, right, there's no light, there's no dark, there's no tunnel, there's no right, there's no wrong. There just is.
I'm still not through that duality yet, but yeah.
Get on the G8 journey.
I've got a copper one to do first.
You saying about the Avatar stuff, I know when I was doing my shamanic training, I couldn't understand why I couldn't just run up a tree. It's like, I don't get it. Why can't I do that? So I used to practice and train and run up the tree and of course fall back down again. And it's like, man, I don't get it. I don't get this gravity nonsense. It's obviously on a level, it's real. But there's another element of me that just doesn't get it. Just
Wow, it's an interesting conversation.
don't get it at all.
Interesting.
Mindset.
Well, could it be that? Well, this links into like what is the physical form here, but what's coming through for me right now is it's like a man-made force, maybe.
Well, yeah, maybe it's not man-made. Maybe it's like galactic made. Man gets blamed for everything, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a way bigger construct, veil, illusion than that. And that and the sense that I actually get gravity is an illusion. It's a concept, it's a construct.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Yeah,
It's real, but I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
I think it's a construct. It's about limitation.
Yeah.
It's about experience and limitation.
Yeah. Wasn't expecting to talk about this on Sunday night.
Why not? We talk about things like this every Sunday night. This is like normal, apart from it's a little bit earlier. This is normally 9 o'clock on a Sunday and it's now 8 o'clock.
It's a little bit deeper this week, Phil. You're taking us on a journey here, Phil.
Okay.
Maybe that's G31.
Maybe so I've done so much G8.
Yeah, maybe.
And you know, and I'm really, I would say I'm coming out of duality. Because I've got it. I really understand you. Understand, not as in I know it all, but I have an understanding of duality, right and wrong, good and bad, blame, shame. I'm starting to see that now, and I'm starting to see the bigger picture. You know, the bigger construct, and you know, and it's unity. So since I've done those G8s, I'm definitely coming off the blame game. I'm sure I'm going to do it, and I'm sure I'm going to judge. But I can see the duality in it all.
How do you feel about guilt?
That's a bit of an ambiguous question, isn't it? It's a big question.
Well, no, because you're talking about you coming out of duality and coming out of judgment.
Okay, so can you hone that question down a bit, as opposed to how do I feel about guilt?
Are you feeling guilt?
Yeah, I feel it all.
Have you shifted? Has it shifted? Is it as intense as it was before you bathed in 7 G8?
No, it's not as intense. Yeah. It's definitely, that's what I'm saying. I'm coming out of it.
The guilt,
duality, right and wrong.
It's interesting that you picked up the judgment through G8 because it's magenta, right?
Yeah.
And judgment sits in copper. Mind you, you have got the judgment of red, which is in the magenta.
And I have done the copper journey 3 times.
Yeah.
So I got to judgment because of duality.
Mm-hmm.
So the judgment of right and wrong, good and bad, good and evil, light and dark. They're evil, they're good. My view is now the evil people might be the most evolved, amazing beings who have ever walked the planet. So I can wake up.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen, they're waking us up. Yeah,
they are, because as I was saying to Phil at the beginning of the show, this situation's making me dig really deeply. I never really understood about duality. I would never have bathed in 7 GH in a row.
Mm.
I would never have got to that point of recognizing that guilt's okay. And it's just part of duality. And judgment is duality.
Mm.
Judging someone as being right or wrong, good or bad, you know, light or dark, awake or asleep. It's amazing because that's duality. It's the two sides of the same coin. It's like the left wing and the right wing of politics thinking that they're different.
Mm.
Same bird. One's one side, one's the other side. Same.
Mm-hmm.
And I clearly haven't released it. I haven't released it and got over it. But I'm seeing duality now. Instead of just living in the experience of duality and thinking it's right, I'm now experiencing it going, wow, maybe what I thought was right or wrong is just okay.
Why did you bring up guilt, Emily?
Because guilt sits in magenta, which is what G8 is.
Okay.
Interesting. Tim wrote something interesting. So yeah, let's just sit on this one for a minute. There is no right or wrong, just dealing with the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, I don't see right and wrong anymore. I see it as just exploration.
So dealing with the consequences of your actions, if we actually understood that it was all perfect, we wouldn't have to deal with the consequences of our actions because we trigger the shit out of people and know that that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are the other person's experiencing whatever the other person's experiencing, and we get shown an aspect of ourselves.
Yeah, we're all serving each other.
We're all serving each other as long as we can see that we're serving each other and take full responsibility, which does not mean it's okay to go and abuse someone just for the fun of it. Or maybe it does. Maybe it does.
Well,
maybe
no.
on soul level, that was part of that person's journey. They were holding that magnet anyway. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How can anything be right or wrong? I mean, that's deep, man. And
that is deep.
And I'm not.
But as when you're in that space, you're not going to abuse somebody. So those are just like the play. But as you become, you're not going to do that to anyone. You're going to be in just a different space.
However, though, once you've evolved, like yesterday with my experience with my friend, someone could have experienced that as being horrendous and horrible and nasty. And what else, Emily, might have someone experienced that as?
Well, I realize that, Phil, but
draining.
That's not something you would do to somebody. Does that make
No, but the point that I'm getting at is this person was doing it to me.
Correct.
I wasn't experiencing having it done to me.
Right.
So years ago, I'd have taken it all personally, and it would have been a very horrible experience.
Right.
Ooh, Tim's just put a sentence up there. Not sure, Tim. Tim has written, we don't hold a magnet, we are the magnet. Don't think we can agree on that one, because my experience is we have situations in our field that create magnetism to an event. Once the event's been drawn in and we've been able to heal that, we no longer have that magnet in our field. Therefore, that situation, it certainly won't come in the same. It might come in a more evolved version, but it changes.
And we're referring to the magnet as the low vibrational emotion that was never the truth of us, but it's within us from cellular memory, from past life experience, from whatever. That can be from the age of 0 to 7 in this lifetime as well. And once you've shifted that low vibration, you can no longer, exactly what Phil's saying, you can no longer attract that situation into your life to show you, because that magnet's gone. But if you're saying that we are magnetic, yes, we are very magnetic as beings. We are electromagnetic beings, but we want to experience life here in joy and to play and to have fun. That's what we came to experience life as. But because we're going through duality at the moment and coming out of duality, we've had to experience the complete and utter polar opposite of love, which is why we're holding on to all these negative emotions, so that we can experience the opposite and shift out of that. And the reason why we're magnetizing negative experiences to ourselves is because we're holding those negative emotions within us. But those emotions are not us. Emotions are energy in motion, so they move. They just got stuck in our bodies, and we're a vehicle for holding that energy. And we're a consciousness exploring ourselves as well. So we're just exploring those negative emotions so that we can shift out of them and come back into oneness.
I'm gonna challenge you, Emily, a little bit on that.
Oh, I need to go and get my battery. Hang on.
I like that. Recharge.
Hang on.
We are a magnet too, then.
Yes.
We are a
Tim
magnet.
is
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
no, he is.
we're an evolving magnet.
Well, we I think it's two.
How can we?
I think it's two different things.
Why? What?
Because we are that magnetic generating amazingness, right, in our physical beings, and it emanates into our field. However, we've got another field, which is like our Akashic field, our Akashic energy, our Akashic records, and they hold memories, and those memories want to be healed. So those memories put out a certain vibration. Magnets might not be the right word. Our field holds a certain vibration. In certain schools of thought, they call them magnets, because they attract an experience to themselves in order to be healed. So they don't necessarily need to be magnets. They could be experiences that are attracting a certain experience in, so we can feel guilt, shame, even so we can feel joy, so we can feel anger, hatred, whatever. Wherever that sits in the field, whatever it's related to, will draw in that experience. It doesn't all have to be negative. It doesn't all have to be positive. It's going to be duality. So we're going to get all of these experiences.
What are you going to challenge me on?
Well, the whole thing about we only come here to experience joy.
Oh, that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm a bit undecided.
That doesn't. It's really interesting, because when you said that,
yeah,
it doesn't sit right, because clearly some of us haven't come to experience that. Some of us have come to evolve our souls.
Yeah, I get that. I agree with that.
So because I think where we've got to be careful is.
Well, no. Okay, go on.
No, go on.
What comes up for me now is like, well, no, we didn't come here to suffer.
I didn't say that, though.
Yeah, no, okay, but I'm looking at it from the opposite perspective.
You're looking at it from duality.
Well, what is joy? How do we know what joy is? Yeah, I did just ramble there, to be fair.
No, you didn't. No, it wasn't a ramble at all. It's just certain sharers of information have certain takes on certain things.
Yeah.
And they're hell-bent on that certain thing. And actually, there's a concept in the fluffy spiritual world that we're only here to experience joy. Well, we're here in duality.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, as in I don't agree in the whole just love and light thing. I don't mean that. I mean, you come here to experience the negatives, to transcend them. That's more what I meant, I suppose. Like, we didn't come here to not experience happiness. It is a weird one. I've spoken to my dad about this and he completely disagrees with me. He completely disagrees. But then also where I've shifted so much, where I could never see many positives in life, really.
Yeah. And that's my point. If we tell people that are depressed and suicidal that actually have only come here to experience joy, it'll probably be too much.
Hit me in the face, yeah. Tell me to.
Because they've clearly not come here in that time. Do you know what I mean? Don't know. It's not sitting. Even what I'm saying isn't sitting right. So
it's a weird. It's all based on. It all comes down to perception, and also it depends where that person is in their life on that timeline,
and what they've agreed to come in for.
Yeah. But ultimately, what I'm saying is a lot of fight and suffering and poverty has been created through duality.
Yes.
And it's all kind of a big ball of mess, really. That.
Yes. You know, and that what we've just been talking about, Emily, is also what Phil and I are all about, because that's evolving out loud. Even though I said, right, I want to challenge you on that, which I did, and then I was like, well, actually, what I've just said doesn't sit right. And then we get to talk about it, right? Because it's not sitting. It's not, for whatever reason, it's not sitting right. And then you said, oh no, maybe that isn't sitting right with me either.
Yeah, the joy thing. I'm like, well, yeah, I can get that, like starving Africans or people, terrorists, all that.
Well, they might be enjoy though.
Well, also the terrorist thing. Sorry, but the terrorist thing.
People might well be enjoy. You never know, do you?
Yeah. What's joy?
Yeah.
That's what, for me, that's what it always comes back to, is that everyone has a different perception of what all these different aspects of life are. So you're not necessarily going to agree with anyone, and everyone's got a different outlook on what they want life to be.
Yep.
And so be it. Each their own. I don't know. It's
And yeah, exactly. And that's the point we have to get to evolve over the limitation, isn't it? Of duality. Because at the moment we've clearly come here to experience duality.
Mm-hmm.
So to say that we've come into duality just to experience joy, we wouldn't have chosen to come in here. we would never have chosen to come to a planet of duality if our aim was to experience joy, right?
But it's like the whole thing of like we had to play it out, because we were living, weren't we?
So sorry, I just laughed at Tim's message.
Oh God!
But terrorists are doing it through positivity for their own for their own self. We take it negatively, but they find it positive.
Well, I'm not going to get started on terrorism, quite frankly.
But that's the duality, right? That's the duality. They're doing it because there's like, yeah, we're right.
Also, that they're all paid actors. They're paid actors. I'm sorry, but they're not real. It's all made up.
Nothing's real. It's all made up bollocks. It's all made up.
What did I do research? I did some research on
Well, Phil's just hanging out, blissed out here, isn't he?
Was it the 7/7 bombings I did? Completely fabricated. That did not happen.
You should talk about that on this show, Phil.
Yeah.
Phil, you've been muted. Phil, you've muted yourself. Come on, you're the host, man.
Oh, oh my God.
Oh,
We're
God.
just living in one giant hologram. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think this. I'm feeling this might be a breaking point on the show. What do you think, Phil?
I think we've had a cracking show. We've had a great time. Thanks for coming on, Emily. Tim,
that's
thank you
okay.
so much for the barricade and the sidelines. That's great. It's made my night. Yeah, but we are our vehicles release magnetic strength over time. We may be hit by the release of magnetic particles from others, but we are the magnet. We have a field of positive and negative charge vibrations. Over time, both positive and negative charge vibrations are released and accepted. I have asked him to come on the show, actually, Phil, but up until now he's declined. So Tim,
Well, he's pretty much on the show every week. So.
No, but I want him on the show. I want him sat on the show.
Yeah.
Come on, Tim. You're on next Sunday. You're on the show with us. Because clearly, man, you've got a great mind and it works fantastically, and I love it. So I think we'd have a very different, interesting conversation with you, mate. Get on the show, come and have some fun, be in joy.
And I'll be in Patagonia again. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I might be doing a coloured mirrors workshop.
Uh-oh.
So it might have to be later, Phil.
Okay, that's cool.
We'll have to find out. Do we know, Emily, if it's on next weekend? It is on next weekend. And is it G8?
I don't know.
Oh. Okay. So if it's G8, I'm going. If it's not, I don't know if I'm going. Okay, Phil, just stay on for a little while then, Emily, and we're going to shut the show down.
All right. Okay.
So
I'm Phil.
And I'm Phil.
And this has been a whirlwind of a ride on this show this week. Who knew? You can check us out, philandphil.com. Send us a donation. Check us out on YouTube. Like, subscribe, all those crazy fun things. What do you say, Phil?
Yeah, love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. A great big thank you for Emily for being brave enough just to jump straight on the show.
Yes.
Come in with the G31, the Galactic Gateway. She came in, she showed up. Fabulous. Emily, thank you so much. Yeah, guys, if you like our show, thumbs up. If you don't, go watch something you do like, because it's just such a waste of your time and energy. Come make a donation, support us so we can keep doing our work and we can just keep doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
Good night, guys. Love you all. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.